Hi everybody, good morning. Today is day 2 and we are going to be talking about fruits. Now, fruits have natural sugar, but just like anything else, you do have to be careful of your natural sugars, especially people who have issues like diabetes and things like that. Now, most people can eat fruit. Most people probably should eat fruit because it's a good source of fiber. But you have to be careful with portion size, like anything else. You know, there's really no thing that you can't eat, right? It's just a matter of how often you eat it and in what portion size. And when I tell you that for me, I love fruit, especially in the summertime. Actually, my biggest thing this summer is kind of watching my fruit intake. And I know that sounds crazy, but you know, it all kind of adds up. It all really does. We know that natural sugar, even when it's natural sugar, if you have too much of it, it's obviously going to affect how you lose weight and how your body uses it. So most people should be eating anywhere to 2 to 3 fruits a day is probably a good kind of rule of thumb. Like I say, these are all like general things. And I say that because I want to protect you, because if you have an issue, if you have diabetes, if you have any kind of medical kind of pre-existing condition, you always want to check with a doctor or whoever, just to make sure that what I'm telling you is something that should be good. And that's a kind of rule of thumb, actually, if you don't even have a pre-existing condition, is that you would do that. So let's talk about fruits. Now, there's something called a glycemic index, and a glycemic index is how does it affect your blood sugar. And what happens is this: when you eat something that's a high glycemic level, there's my husband. When you have something as a high glycemic level, it raises your blood sugar. Now, for most people, when your blood sugar is raised, sometimes it raised and then it falls, and then we have that hit. Also, when your blood sugar gets raised, it actually can make you want to eat more, which is probably why sometimes when we eat fruit, we kind of keep wanting to eat it. One of the things that I do when I eat fruit is I always try to pair it with a protein. So I love bananas, and I think bananas are kind of high on the glycemic level, and they have 10 grams of natural sugar. But for me, you know what? I eat them in the morning. I eat them right after my workout, which is really when you want to get those carbs in, is right after a workout, so that your body will use them. So I use a banana in my Shakeology, which is a protein. So, the protein and the carb, or the, the fruit kind of evens itself out. So your blood sugar won't rise as fast because you have that protein to kind of balance it out. And that's just something that works for me. Now, I didn't know this. I actually was looking this up before. A lot of people like watermelon. Watermelon's great because, it's water-based, but it's also very high on the glycemic level. So just be careful of your portion sizes of that. Most portion sizes for a fruit is about a cup. And in our program, the 21-day fix, we have these little containers, and this helps us measure out our fruit in there. And then things like banana, so a banana would be equal to, half a banana would be equal to 1 of these. So cherries, lots of great fruits in the summertime. My fruits that I choose are kind of more on the lower glycemic level as my day goes on. So as I said, I do the banana in the morning because it is higher glycemic, and I put it in my Shakeology. I also do berries. Berries are lower on the glycemic level. And an apple is also another one. And actually the type of apple that you pick can determine how high on the glycemic level it is. For instance, green apples are better for you in terms of sugars, whereas I love Honeycrisp apples, but they're only available usually through the fall. But they have higher ones. But you know what? You got to live a little sometimes. You can't you can't nix everything out of your diet, and they're just so delicious. So hopefully that gets you to understand about fruits. It is very important that just like any other food that you do fruits in portion control, and you eat them in certain amounts during the day. So I try to eat my fruits in the morning or afternoon, and I try to leave lower glycemic things that would spike my blood sugar towards later in the day, because I work out first thing in the morning. So as my day progresses, I'm not going to be burning a lot of calories, especially like dinner time and after dinner. So you have to determine for yourself, you know, I know there's a lot of people that work out after dinner, so that might not apply to you. So you always have to use your own trial and error. And I know people get frustrated when I tell them that, but let's face it, there's not any diet or anything that is made for everybody. So if anybody that's trying to sell you a diet or a way of life and telling you, well, you've got to do this and you got to do that, you know what? I think it's crazy. I think you are the only person that can determine what works best for you. And you're always, you know how you feel. You know how you feel better. You know how you look. There's a lot of things that go into that. And honestly, if you take the time to really investigate and keep a food log, you're going to find out what works for you. And I think it's going to be well worth your time and interest to do those things. So fruits are a carb. And the thing is everybody people be like, oh, I do Atkins and no carbs, whatever. You need carbs. You need carbs. Please don't do a low carb diet. Because when I tell you that that's how I lived most of my life, and I did not have abs when I did that, sometimes I was able to lose weight, but I honestly was not like building muscle. I wasn't building like the toning kind of stuff that we as women want. And I actually wasn't very nice. You know, your brain chemistry actually needs carbs, and it needs about 130 grams, I think it is, of carbs a day, just for your brain to actually work well. So that is my spiel on carbs. Each day we're going to take a different type of carb. You know, there's so many different things that go under that title of carb, and I think that's why people are so confused, because we have fruits, we have veggies, and then we have complex carbs. But you're lucky, because we're going to describe them all. So hopefully I didn't ramble too much for you, but that's the deal on fruits. Have a good day.